Hey, y'all, Bashim El Shai, Bashim Kakadash, giving all praises to y'all, Bashim El Shai. Give double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS, and peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel. It's the brother Tawal Pariyat from the Providence, Rhode Island camp, and just coming at you with a quick lesson. Not gonna make this too long. I just seen some bullshit ass post apparently. So this nigga right here posted it. This is on Instagram, but yeah, this nigga right here made a post. If you don't sin, Jesus died for nothing. And this is really just typical Babylon mindset. This is typical Babylon mindset where they push stupidity. They push idiocracy, if that's even a word or whatnot. But got a couple scriptures really just dealing with this. Fact of the matter is, First of all, the Messiah, the man that died on the cross during the time of the Roman Empire. All right, I believe it was like around 30 to 33 A.D. ish, around there. First of all, his name wasn't Jesus. He wasn't even being called that. He was being called Yahweh Shai. All right, that's what his real name was. And he was a so-called black man. And it's true. He did not die for nothing. He did die for the sins of the nation of Israel. However, it was to cover their sins in a sense where they would have a way back to their father Yahweh. Okay, this is why us Israelites have to go through Yahweh Shai in order to get to our father Yahweh. All right, that's really just because we broke that first covenant. But dealing with this bullshit this nigga posted, if you don't sin, Jesus died for nothing. This is why this place is called the Sinful Kingdom. All right, and this is the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 8. It says, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom." All right, that's referring to the angels, and that's referring to the prophets, right? Eyes are upon the sinful kingdom, which is referring to America. America is a sinful kingdom. This back then was talking about the children of Israel, but now, modern times, spiritually applying it to America, because this place is filled with sinful mind, sinful activity, sinful mindset. All right, but it says, "I will destroy it from off the face of the earth." So because of its sins, the Most High is going to destroy it. You can read prophecies in Revelation, Jeremiah, Isaiah, many, different parts of the Bible go into the destruction of America. All right, but it says, "Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord." Why will the house of Jacob not be utterly destroyed? Because they are not walking around with that bullshit mindset that we just read about. Okay, and Yahweh Shai made a statement. I'm just gonna bring out a couple scriptures and just make my points. When Yahweh Shai came, he told this lady to go and sin no more. This adulterous woman. This is the book of St. John, chapter 8:1. It says, "Yahweh Shai went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again unto the temple, and all the people came to him, and he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they say to him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act." So this girl got caught committing adultery, which adultery is she belonged to a man, but she was getting down with another man. Okay. It says, they say unto, verse 5, "Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned, but what sayest thou?" So according to the law, all right, the Torah, the five books of Moses, according to that, a woman found in adultery was to be killed. Okay. But they ask Yahweh Shai what he say. Verse 6 says, this they said, tempting him, that they may have to accuse him. But Yahushua stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said to them, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Yahushua was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. And when Yahushua had lifted up himself, and saw none but the woman, he said to her, woman, where are those thine accusers? Has no man condemned thee? She said, no man. She said, no man, Lord. And Yahushua said to her, neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. So, what do we just read? Yahushua told his woman, go and sin no more. And that woman also is symbolically referring to the children of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, we were adulterers, and by following after other gods, doing things that we weren't supposed to, and in the mindset of worshiping other gods. But Yahushua coming on the scene, right? We received that forgiveness, and we come back with a clear conscience, come back fully repented, and we come back serving Yahushua, and no longer walk in sin. But hey, we got a post being published by niggas telling people to walk in sin, which shows you why this place needs to be destroyed. So I wanted to bring them couple scriptures out to show, that these people out here, they just put out madness, man. And it's important to stay in this truth locked in, because it's so much temptations going about that really it's just Satan seeking who he could devour, But Satan works for Yahweh, so it's really Yahweh trying to just take out who he just doesn't desire, really. Okay, so I hope this was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.